Hey everyone, what's going on? It's FTJ Gaming with a movie review. It's about 11:30 p.m. Wednesday night. Just got out from an early showing of War for the Planet of the Apes. AMC had this three-movie deal for $27. You get to see the first two movies, and you get to see the new one a day earlier than everybody else. And so I hope everybody appreciates this movie review and give it a like or comment. Because I skipped the first two movies. I didn't really want to see it. I came back at 9 o'clock, or I came at 9 just to see the last movie. It was pretty good. It was definitely worth it. So let me just kind of jump into it. I'll do a plot summary of the movie. It's probably gonna have spoilers, and then I'll go into stuff I like and didn't like. So let me just get started. Movie starts with Woody Harrelson invading Caesar's village and killing his wife and son. So Caesar's really pissed and upset. So he wants to get revenge and kill Woody Harrelson, who is the general or the colonel. Sorry. So the movie is basically a 2 hour journey of Caesar trying to get to the colonel um, and kill him. He wants to go by himself. He's really upset. But Maurice, the orangutan, his left hand man, or right hand man, sorry, or whatever. Actually, both his left and right hand man go with him. They don't want him to go by himself, and so he doesn't want them to come, but they insist on coming, and they do. It's a long journey through snow, and it's winter time, and first thing they kind of come up. I'll let you guys know from right here from the beginning. The plot isn't sophisticated. It's just long and drawn out, but it's very suspenseful. A lot of action, a lot of violence, a lot of drama. So it's not the most intricate plot. I'll let you know. It's just basically Caesar. The movie is pretty much all on the ape side. I think the first two movies, if I remember correctly, was more about the humans, how everything transpired. Now it's just the third installment is basically Caesar wants revenge and wants to kill the colonel. So it's a 2 hour, 2.5 hour movie of him trying to get to the colonel through snow. So he starts out on the journey. They come across a house with a human, and the human man is carrying wood, lumber, and the human's like, let me just put it down. I'm not gonna do anything. But then he tries to pull out a gun, so Caesar kills him really quickly from behind because the human didn't know that Caesar was behind them. The human guy was trying to kill some other Maurice and some of the other apes. So after they kill the human, they go into the house, basically foraging or scavenging for food and whatever they can take from the house. They come into a room where there's a little girl laying on the bed, and she's really scared, and they don't want to hurt her because she's just a kid. So um, they hand her a little doll, and then they realize that she can't talk. She's like mute. She like mumbles, can't talk. So Maurice says we can't leave her here. She's gonna die. And Maurice is a orangutan, just in case I didn't make that exactly clear. He's like, we can't leave her here. She's gonna die. Um, well, first, actually, Caesar says we can't take her with us, and Maurice says, we can't leave her here. She's gonna die. And then Maurice says, well, I'm gonna stay with her. And then it just cuts to the next scene, in which means Caesar kind of gave in, and they show the little girl traveling with them. Um, so the movie is just them trying to, like I say, find the colonel. They get a little bit of a hint from other apes throughout the movie on the way to find the colonel. They come across a white ape that has words on the back of him written that says donkey, and I guess donkey is like the human term for an ape that they actually get to help him to help the humans. Like they kind of get them to backstab the other apes to promise them, to live or whatever, that they won't kill them. Um, so they get help from one of them, and the ape says they come across the ape, and he says he apologizes to Caesar and gets really sad and almost starts crying, saying that he had no choice to tell the humans or the Colonel Woody Harrelson where Caesar was hiding, because if he didn't tell the Colonel where Caesar was hiding, Caesar was going to kill him. So Caesar gets really upset, of course, and then he says, because of you and because of what you just did, he killed my wife and son. So they accidentally, I think he just passes out, but while they're talking, this white ape and Caesar about what the ape had to do to survive. They hear humans in the outside of a tent, I guess. So they kind of like choke the white ape by accident. I think he just falls asleep. I don't think they kill him. Um, so that's kind of just a little scene. Like I said, the plot's not the most sophisticated. So so they start traveling again. They come across, well, they don't come across, they stop to rest. Caesar, Maurice, some of the other apes. I think one of them name was Luca, um, and the little girl. And they stop to rest, and then there's a person in a jacket sneaks up behind the little girl that's on a horse and steals one of the other horses and steals their gun. So the apes see it and jump up from resting and jump on other horses to go after him. So they finally track the person down that stole the horse to a cabin, in the woods, and or yeah, it is a cabin, kind of cabin or cave, old abandoned area, let's say then. And it turns out to be another ape, and surprisingly, it was another ape that can talk, because throughout the movie, as you guys know, most of the apes use sign language to communicate. So this is the first ape that they come across ever that can talk, and the ape, which I don't remember what his name was, so I'm sure somebody's gonna comment or say something. And they ask him, like, how comes you can talk? We have never met another ape that can talk other than Caesar. He said, well, they experimented on a couple of them at a zoo. I think because he had a doll or some type of something that said, I think it said San Diego Zoo on it, and that ape couldn't. It was like a bunch of them that could talk, but then they got really smart, and the humans didn't like that. So they ended up killing them. He ends up escaping before they kill him, and so that's why he's like one of the only apes. The only downfall is he's kind of clumsy. He's like the comedy relief for the movie, slapstick. He's always tripping all over the place, and he's kind of like I thought maybe a cross between being witty and a little bit of like um, an imbecile in a way, but he's still pretty clever. He's smart. Um, Maybe like an idiot savant. I don't know exactly how to describe him, but he and then for me, I was thinking through the movie like, is he gonna backstab them? Like he's just leading them because he promises to show Caesar where the Colonel might be hiding, because they kind of like interrogate him, ask him questions, and the ape from the San Diego Zoo that can talk, he he's very overly too friendly, and sometimes that can be like, all right, what's going on here? So he promises, he gives them food, he wants them to stay. He says, well, he knows of a zoo for humans where there's like a lot of bad humans that are locked up. but he doesn't want to go there. He says, but I think the colonel's going to be there. And then before I go a little bit further too, just want to kind of point out the white ape, the one that they ran across in the journey before they met this one. He said, we heard the colonel is going to be getting more men to team up with him and kill all the apes. Um, so then when they meet the second ape that can talk from the San Diego Zoo, he says, yeah, the colonel, I think he might be staying at this zoo for humans because he doesn't know it's called like a prison or whatever. He just sees like fences and gates. And he calls it like a zoo for bad humans or something like that. So Caesar puts two and two together. He says, it's probably not a zoo for bad humans. It's probably soldiers, and they're probably using it as a camp. And then the ape says, yeah, I think they are soldiers now that he thinks about it. So like I said, the plot is still pretty basic. He's just kind of on a journey to find the humans. I'm going to start speeding it up a little bit. Sorry, because my throat is getting really scratchy. So he is very reluctant. He's like, I don't want to go there. It's a bad place with bad people. So he doesn't want to go. Then later in the day, he sees, you see like Caesar leaving and everybody to go to that place. And he decides at the last minute to go with them to find the colonel. Fast forward, I'm going to skip through some stuff because the plot's not that intricate. They finally get to the facility or prison, let's say, where the colonel Woody Harrelson was staying at, and Caesar goes first. Well, there was a scuffle between the apes. Caesar kind of leaves on his own. He says, I don't need you guys. I told you guys not to stay. He goes first, gets to the facility, and then sees a lot of apes tied up outside the facility to scare away other apes from trying to like do anything, escape, or trying to rescue the other ones. Because he finds out in the facility where the soldiers and humans are other apes that are being kept captive, and to be working as slaves to help build a wall for the facility. So Caesar helps untie some of the apes that are tied up outside the facility, kind of using them as scarecrows, I guess. Let's use that terminology just to give you a visualization. They're still alive. They're beaten really bad. But then Caesar isn't paying attention, gets whacked back and behind the head. Sorry, gets kidnapped, puts into the facility. He wakes up. Woody Harrelson's interrogating him. I'm going to start jumping ahead because I know I'm probably dragging this out. And I know it's not the most, like I said again, sophisticated plot. So basically, the movie is Caesar now trying to break out from the prison. He talks to Woody Harrelson. Woody Harrelson says, those soldiers aren't coming to team up with me. They're coming to kill me. So then they realize at one point that they might have to kind of almost help each other in a way. So Woody Harrelson and Caesar talk, and Caesar's still really pissed. He gets beat up a lot by Caesar, and he's trying to help the other apes escape. And basically, I'm gonna kind of sum it up real quick. Woody Harrelson tells Caesar that the reason that he is the way that he is because the virus that made apes talk and more human-like are now making the humans more like apes where they can't talk and they're getting dumber. So the virus mutated from making you really smart from making you really smart into making you dumb. Like it's going from to ape, make you smart and able to talk, and from ape back to human to make you dumb and not be able to talk. So that's why he's trying to like kill the apes, and he's been killing a lot of humans that have been really sick. And then everybody kind of realizes now that's why that girl who they found in the first house that they accidentally killed her dad. Well, not accidentally, they killed her dad. That's why she can't talk, is because the virus jumped to her, and now she is not being able to talk. She knows sign language. She's a little girl, very pretty, blonde hair, blue eyes, and she's in the movie also to teach kind of people that like you're not really taught hate or even use the word racism. I mean, you're not born with it. You're taught it. You know, the kids, real and young kids, aren't born to hate people, and whoever are different from them. They're kind of taught it throughout their times. So I'm kind of jumping around. So let me just jump back straight to the plot. Then I'll sum it up, give you some likes and dislikes. So that's why Woody Harrelson is the way that he is. Um, Sorry, I'm doing this on my phone, so if you see stuff flashing, I'm trying not to make my phone fall asleep while I'm talking. So he still hates Woody Harrelson. He doesn't hate him as much. They go back and forth, beat Caesar up a little bit. Make a long story short, the little girl kind of helps Caesar in the middle of the night, feeds him some water and some food because he's like dying. They beat the crap out of him. Kind of almost reminds me about. I know they played so many different like symbolisms in the movie. Jesus Christ, I guess he's just get beaten up, or whoever in history has gotten beaten up, and so the little girl feeds him water and food in the night. So make a long story short, and this is a huge plot spoiler. Woody Harrelson, before Caesar actually wants to kill him still, and the soldiers that were told that were going to come and team up with Woody Harrelson, like I said, they're actually there to kill him because they don't like him. It's just, there's no army, there's no militaries. I think the country is just kind of like it's an apocalypse. I don't think it's like the U.S. Army or anything like that. It's but they in the middle of the night they start with a bunch of helicopters bombing and shooting missiles at the facility that they've been staying at. Caesar, it's the climax of the movie. Caesar, while this is happening, tries to break into Woody Harrelson's room to go kill him. While all this is happening, he still wants his revenge. He says no matter what. He gets to Woody Harrelson's room, and he has contracted the virus. He can't no longer talk. Caesar gets a gun and wants to shoot him, and then he realizes Woody Harrelson has the virus.